Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for Gemini for the month of March. You can have Gemini anywhere in your chart, you can be a cross watcher. All that I ask is that if you're here watching this reading, that you come with good intentions for yourself and for others. Okay, so I have to do a little bit of backstory on me to kind of be able to give you your message that I got for you beforehand. I will say that I have a really uneasy feeling right now when I was tapping into your energy. I was feeling very uneasy, fidgety. Yeah. So anyway, part of your message has to do with, I'm going to give an example of marijuana, but it can be literally any vice. And when I say any vice, it can be anything that you do too much in excess, like work, exercise, drink, smoke weed, eat, whatever. It can be so many different things. But I'm going to use marijuana as an example because I have a personal story that helps me kind of go into your energy. So there have been many different I don't know how I want to word this. So throughout my life, I've gone through different levels of marijuana usage. When I was young, in my early 20s, I was smoking way too much, and it was because I was just I was medicating, but to an extreme, and self-medicating, to an extreme. And then, it kind of I would quit, and then I would come back to it and not do very much, but then I would build up and, just the whole cycle. And as I've gotten older, it's gotten a bit better. There are times when I still probably self-medicate too much, but here, for some reason, in the past 3 months, I just haven't had a desire to do it. It used to be whenever I would quit, it would be out of guilt. I would guilt myself and be like, you need to stop doing this. And so, but for the past 3 months, I haven't really wanted to do it that much, maybe once every couple of weeks or something. And when I just want to relax. But so for some reason today, when I was getting into your energy, I used to also smoke before I would do readings as well, but I haven't been doing that for the past couple of months. So today, when I was getting into your energy, it was I couldn't focus, nothing was coming to me. All that was coming to me was that I was needing to smoke. And so I did, just to see if I would get a message for you guys, and it just happened to be the message. But it's it can be used in 2 different ways, where it can make you relax, or it can kind of give you energy and help you want to accomplish things or whatever. I don't know. It depends on how you use it. And so I was getting the sense that you need to do one of those things. You either need to relax or you need to be motivated. And those are 2 totally opposite things. So I could be talking to 2 very distinct groups of Geminis here. But the stronger feeling I was getting is that you need to relax, because I'm getting the sense that you can use even stress as a what did I call it? A numbing agent. Whatever it is you have going on in your life, you let being busy shield you from actual life. Does that make sense? Now it's interesting. I got the message of what are you scared of? What? Because it's such an uneasy feeling that I have right now that I've had since I've been trying to get into your energy, and it's there's something that you're avoiding that you're really scared of. And you use different vices, whether that's work or weed or, you know, any of the examples I used earlier, or any other examples that I didn't use earlier, you know, why are you using these things to mask your life, pretty much, you know? So it's an interesting feeling. So what are you scared of? I feel like that's kind of what we're going to be focused on today for your reading. Like, I don't usually do themes for readings, but that's just what's feeling, what I'm being called to do. So, okay. Well, this is interesting. So the moth came out, and with the bee on the bottom. So two flying, I don't know, are they considered insects? I don't know what they're considered, but it's interesting because with the bee, I always get like a busy bee type of energy. It's like you just kind of like flit through life and like just, it's like boom, bump. And then, you know, like, have you ever seen a bee do that where it's like they are going, and then they run into something, they like bounce back, and then they start going in like a completely different direction? That's the visual I get when I have this bee card. And so it's like it's a busy bee. And paired with the moth, it's so interesting because with the moth, I also see a bumping energy. Because you know how moths just will bump straight into the light over and over and over and over. And it's like a cycle. I was mentioning the cycles earlier, right? And so I think you're just kind of like bumping around through life, going where you think you need to go with this moth, because the moth thinks it needs to go to the light, but it doesn't. Like, it doesn't really, I don't know what it does for it, but it's so attracted to the light. But I would assume, like, I don't know, it would be painful. So it's like two energies that I'm getting. Like, it's like you're just kind of like bumping along, running into whatever it is you run into, and then you like rebound. But it's almost like with the moth, it's like you keep going back to the same thing over and over and over again, and thinking it's going to like, I don't even think you expect it to be better. You just keep, I don't know, it's because you really don't expect it to be any better. I don't know. Okay, so maybe you're, okay, so we are focusing on what are you scared of, but I feel like, are you scared of letting go of whatever it is that you keep going back to? Okay, we're gonna use the Everyday Witch Tarot to get a message for you guys. What is it that Gemini is scared of here? What are they scared of? What is this thing they keep going back to that they're scared of? It's, I don't know. Okay, let's see what the message is. You know what's interesting is with the colors of this moth card. So it's green and yellow. Yellow is the solar plexus chakra, and that represents like our masculine aspects, right? And then green is our heart chakra. And so it's really interesting because I feel like, you know, the yellow is like kind of overtaking the green. And so I feel like there's something, there's some kind of, it's like you're the masculine aspect of who you are. Like, I wish I could give a good example of what I mean here. But you know, just what masculine energy represents, right? drive, and I don't know. But anyway, it's overtaking the heart chakra. So I feel like if you were to have like Reiki done, so when I do Reiki for people, it's like I can kind of sense the colors of their chakras and stuff. I feel like if I were doing Reiki on this Gemini group, it would be like when I would go to their heart chakra, I would feel more yellow than green. And that means like their solar plexus is kind of like overtaking their heart and like letting their gut drive them more than their heart. Okay. Anyway, Knight of Swords and then the Eight of Cups. More air energy here. But it's interesting because the Eight of Cups represents like walking away. You are really scared of walking away from something. Like, for this light to be shut off. It's like you're addicted to the light, but you almost wish the light would be shut off so you could move on. But you are secretly praying like the light stays on. So you can just continue bumping into it, because if it shuts off, you have to move on. Now, because we're seeing that here too, like this card is like chaos. And you know what's so interesting is like crows and ravens and stuff are, they represent like spiritual messages, and there's almost like there's a ton of them around you, and it's almost like they're creating a chaos around you so you will pay attention. But instead of like doing that, you're just kind of like, you're fighting them and pushing through. So it's like, are you walking away from doing this, from fighting like your spiritual messages, or are you walking away from the whole scenario, like of spirit trying to get your attention? You are really, really conflicted. I'm getting such a conflicted energy. It's like that light on and off. It's like you cannot make your mind if you want the light to be on or off. And I'm getting that here too, because the Knight of Swords is supposed to be like truth, like in action. But it's such a chaotic energy. I feel like you don't even know what the truth is. Or you do, but you don't want to claim you do. I want to clarify these because I want to know what it is you're walking away from, What do I want to use? I'm going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot. Yeah, let's look at the Knight of Swords first. Can I clarify the Knight of Swords for Gemini, please? Clarify the Knight of Swords for Gemini. For March. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Okay, so we have the Mother of Cups and then the Two of Cups. So it definitely has to do with that heart that I was talking about. I think you really need to because I was getting a message about meditation. What does it say? Meditation is needed. I literally got that message beforehand. I don't think I said it out loud. But meditation is needed, and I honestly think that you need to focus on that heart chakra. Okay? And I'm also hearing the message, because this is the Mother and then we have the Two of Cups. So I'm honestly getting the decision that you're needing to make here, it's almost like between, like I'm getting like a parental energy and like love. Like parental love, romantic love, or like whatever. And that's what I think the two things are. It's like maybe, I don't know. Okay, so with the Two of Cups, in this card, I've been seeing this card has been everywhere in this month's readings. But so how I've been seeing it is like how supportive these two roses are of each other. Like they're holding each other up, as well as the emotional, it's like emotional support internally and externally, okay? Now, with this card, it almost, to me, like the perspective of it, it looks like there is, like this goose or swan or whatever it is, I don't know, is, it's almost like there's a whole like universe in here, and they have their wing over it, and it's like they're kind of just like stirring it and like manipulating it. And do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it's almost like if, hang on, I'm really trying to form my words here. It's just very like hard to put into words. What I'm feeling right now is so hard to put into words. But I think those are the two things that you have to choose between. It's like, it's almost like this part is easier because you're being controlled. The light, it's probably the light switch, right? Being turned on. It's being controlled. It's consistent. You expect it to always be there. And it's like that boom, boom, boom. Like you're able to just keep doing the same thing because it's easy. Okay? But then maybe if the light is turned off, it's, you have to go over here. Now, that can always be vice versa, okay? I don't know. I might need to clarify this too. We're at 18 minutes. Yeah, let's look at the Mother of Cups real quick. Let's look at the Mother of Cups for Gemini, please. Queen of Swords. There's the roses too. And then, okay, I'm just trying to figure this out. Because we have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. It's like, you know what it feels like? Kind of like they can cut off what they want this to be for you. Like they have control over what they want your Two of Cups to be. If they want it to be work, they'll cut off work as showing you that it's supporting you. If they want it to be love, they'll cut off love and show that it's supporting you. It's a very I don't know. I don't ever see the queens really this way, but it does feel like a very kind of like a manipulative energy. They're the one controlling the light switch, okay? Is what it feels like, because you don't have any control over the light switch. I think you might honestly fear having control over the light switch. Like, you kind of prefer it this way. Okay, but it's like, we're going to see what you're walking away from here. We're going to look at the Eight of Cups. Can we clarify the Eight of Cups for Gemini, please? What is it that Gemini is walking away from? Or the scared of? What are you scared of walking away from? I think you're scared of walking away from this. From the light switch being turned on. Like, you want it to stay on, but you're scared it's going to turn off. Because, like, as long as it's on, you can keep repeating the cycle. And it's easier to repeat the cycle than go somewhere new. Because it's what you've always known. I guess let's see if it's like the Eight of Cups is you actually being scared of walking away or actually walking away. I don't know. It could be both, like, depending on who's watching, I guess. Some of you might not. Can we clarify the Eight of Cups for Gemini, please? Clarify the Eight of Cups for Gemini. Well, okay. We have the Fool, which means that you're probably going to walk away. Or even if you don't choose it, you might be forced into it. Well, that's interesting that I said choose, because we have the Two of Swords on the bottom. And that literally means, like, making a decision. It's an infantile type of energy, right? Like, I honestly think that whether you choose or not, the light's going to get turned off. Whether you can take control of the light switch or not, it's going to get turned off so you can go somewhere new. And it's interesting that I say that too, because in this Two of Swords, there's an eclipse happening. And when there's an eclipse happening, doesn't it, like, get really dark? Like, because it's eclipsing the sun, so the sun is darkened. And it makes it dark outside. And so that's, like, almost like the light being turned off. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get some advice, because we're pretty far in, and I just think that we're going to ask the fairies oracle, okay, for advice. What's the advice for Gemini regarding this reading, please? What's the advice for Gemini? Flap the footer. Okay. Okay. So we have fairies of the future on the bottom. So I definitely think this is talking about your future and, like, your advice to get the best. It's like, you know what I'm hearing? It's like the best foot forward. To figure out your best foot forward. And your future is going to be different, I'm hearing. Then it's like the light does get turned off. Now, with Flap the Footer, I know he talks a lot about grounding in the book. They talk a lot about getting grounded. And you are an air sign, so that might be difficult for you. It might be difficult for you to come down from your head and really focus on what it is you want to make on like Earth, right? But this is really, that's your advice right now, is like to get really grounded. So I'm actually going to look at the book and see, because I think the book one will offer you more insight than I can give you right now. Because I'm really in your energy right now, and I feel very like, it's almost like flustered and confused, and so we're gonna see what Flaff the Footer has to say. Sorry, it's not Flaff, it's Faff. Faff the Footer. Being real, earthing, grounding, centering. Just as life is becoming surprising, exciting, and very interesting, that's the Fool energy. Like, your change is afoot. Okay? And it's funny that I think that's the second foot phrase that's come out of my mouth since Faff the Footer has come out here. Let's see here. Faff the Foot Fungus Fairy comes along to check out our feet. He picks up one foot in his remarkably strong hands and looks at it over for fluff between the toes, smelly fungi, and dirty, untrimmed toenails. If he finds any of these signs of disrespect for our feet and for Earth Mama, walking on her with grubby feet, yuck, he marks them by making holes in our socks. If things are really bad, he sends mice to eat our dancing shoes, so we will be forced to dance barefoot in the dewy meadow under the moon. If it happens that we have snow instead of dew, that is just our tough luck. So, I love these fairies. They're so fun. Warning, Faff may have fungi on his fingers from someone else's foot, and if our feet are not clean, both energetically and physically, the fungi are apt to take root. He leaves the foot in the air while he inspects the other foot, lifting it up as well. Having done his inspection job, he wanders off, leaving us standing there with both feet in the air. And Faff snickers, usually confused expression. Wait, hang on, it says Faff snickers, and this is a quote, like Faff is saying this. Usually confused expression. It says F's instead of the X or whatever. Wait, no, S's. Sorry. Usually confused expression on your faces. This is not a good position for a human to be in. This is a test. Repeat, this is a test. You have been warned. The test is to get both feet back on terra firma. Do not try to do anything important or make any significant decisions until you have come back to Earth. Anything you attempt to do while standing with your feet in the air is apt to not work. If you're unlucky, it will work, but not at all in the way you intend or hope. So it's quick fairy tips for earthing. Stroke your feet gently with both hands, each one for 5 minutes. You can also check for holes in your socks while doing this. Paint your toenails bright red, then your toes say a cheery hey-ya to you when you look at them, and this reminds you to keep them on the ground. Even when you can't see them, it will probably still remind you, especially if you are a man. Breathe, ground, center. If you can't remember how... Hang on, sorry, that was not for you guys. Let's see here. Maintain sanity by staying earthed. Do this now. Important information is coming your way, but you can only receive it properly if your feet are on terra firma and your head is well connected to the rest of your body. Yeah. So it seems like you're really needing to focus on your root chakra and your heart chakra right now. Those two things, like, in the meditation is needed. I honestly think that's your biggest goal that you should have. Is by figuring out how to come down from the clouds, come down from the light, and like it's almost like once the light is turned off, you need to be able to plant firmly down into the ground, you know. And I'm getting that sense, like, you know, when a cat lands, it like lands on its feet and then it can move forward. And I think that's like kind of what you're needing to do, is you got to like be able to land on your feet, kind of ground into that, because it makes quite a heavy thud, right? When they when they land. So it's like you got to ground into that and just keep grounding. I feel like you really need to, especially as an air sign, and there was so much air energy. If you have a lot of air in your chart, I think you're really, really being called to ground. Because let's see, the Moth is air, the Bee is air, the Two of Swords is air, the Knight of Swords is air, the Queen of Swords is air. So much air energy. And that might help you get some clarity, It might help you, because right now it was such a confusing reading. I didn't know which way you wanted to go. I didn't know which way was an option. It was just like, it was very, very confusing. And by coming down and grounding into earth, that I think will help you feel better, not flustered and not stressed. Okay. So Gemini, this has been your reading. I hope it was helpful. If it was, you can like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.